What's up, you guys? It's Kiera, and today I wanted to share with you how I went from full-time entrepreneurship to full-time corporate baddie. Okay, corporate baddie? Corporate baddie. So I've been in my corporate job for 1 year and some change, I think 1 year and 4 months. And before working this job, I was a full-time entrepreneur straight out of college. So after college, I graduated in 2020. I did entrepreneurship. I did entrepreneurship in college, but then I went full-time entrepreneurship after college. And then in 2021, I began my corporate search. My search for a corporate job that would make me feel secure. A lot of people, they push this notion that, entrepreneurship is the way, and, you should own your own business always, and, why work for the man when you can work for yourself, and all of this. And while some of the points in what they say, some of the reasons behind what they say are very valid, my experience was a little bit different. A few reasons that I actually decided to switch from full-time entrepreneurship to corporate is because I liked balance. I wanted balance. Balance. You're stretched a lot of ways, a lot of different times. There isn't consistency in how your business operates. I mean, there is, but there's so many variables that you sometimes just can't control, in my experience. And I found that I really wanted to have that balance. I wanted to know, these days I'm gonna be working from 9 to 5, I get these holidays, I'm gonna get paid if I'm sick, my insurance and benefits are good, my investment account is good, my 401k, I got an HSA. I wanted all of that. And that was one of the reasons that drove me to a corporate job. Another reason why I wanted a corporate job was that I wanted stability. I am really big on stability. I have very bad anxiety, and stability is one of those things that keeps it at a level, Not being stable makes it activate. So I wanted that stability with income. I wanted to know that I would have X amount of dollars coming in every pay period. And I really wanted that for me, one, but also because I knew that the plans that me and my husband had included, buying a house, and I needed a new car, and, things happen, and we're at that age where, we want to travel, we want to plan for the future, plan for children and all of this. And I didn't want me being a full-time business owner to get in the way of any of that. So with buying a house, you hear a lot of stories about business owners not doing their numbers right and not doing their financials right, and then when it's time for them to get a house, lenders look at it like, oh, you don't have any job history even though you own a business. There's a lot of conflict and confusion that usually happens there. That is the last thing I wanted. I knew the timeline that we wanted to buy a house right now, and I knew that I needed to work on building that history and showing that I have a stable job and that I'm making a consistent income. That isn't to say that I just totally don't do entrepreneurship anymore and that I don't do anything for myself. I do have a great work-life balance, which is another reason why I decided to move to a corporate environment. When I was running my business and doing that full-time, I found that I didn't have a lot of time to be creative on my own. I was always working for clients. I was always putting in all the overtime time that I was working was going towards my client work or my business or something of that aspect, because I had to keep it pushing. But with work, I know that, okay, I can get off work, I can go home, I can work on a side gig, increase my skill set. I've taken courses after work. Actually, at the end of my work day, I set aside 45 minutes to focus on a certain course. I just finished a UX design course. Next, I'm going to take probably a project management course or a UX research course. It's just a lot more easier to work on those skills that can transfer, pretty much anywhere. And working at my job has given me a vast variety of experience within certain things. I can design print, mobile, web. I know, all the corporate jargon, all that marketing jargon that corporate companies use. And should I want to move to another company, I know that the experience that I had at my corporate job, in addition to the skills that I bring from being an entrepreneur together will make me a very powerful candidate. Even if I decide to stay at my job for a while and grow with the company, the skills that I am getting when I'm off work, in my free time, will allow me to work my way to the position that I want and help me along my career path. And then another reason for the switch, which I didn't really realize until it was time for me to start interviewing and I started looking into the company values and stuff, is I like to work with people. Have that small talk. I'm probably the person that some of y'all don't like to talk to in the office. Like, I'm here with an invited smile if you want to have a conversation. But entrepreneurship is very lonely sometimes, especially as a graphic designer or a web designer. A lot of times you're in your own world most of the time. And as someone who deals with a lot of mental health, that is sometimes not the safest place for you to be. It really gives me something to look forward to when I go into work. We work on a hybrid schedule actually, so I work from home on Monday and Friday, but going in the office on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday gives me something to really look forward to. I get dressed, I put on makeup, I wear perfume, I put on jewelry. It gives me life. Like Beyonce says, I give you life. That's my job to me at the moment. While there weren't many challenges that I faced during the switch, I did encounter a few. I would say the main challenge was just adjusting to that work-life schedule of a corporate employee. Like with my business, a lot of times I would be working super late night hours, and if I wanted to relax during the day or I just didn't feel like working, I could do that because I was my own boss. But corporate, you gotta do work during the day. But on the right side of that, I'm not expected to be working on my laptop after 5 o'clock, so I do have that time to look forward to relax. And it's on a consistent schedule, so I can't just slip into being lazy, for like a week straight, like I used to do with entrepreneurship sometimes. Another challenge that I faced, this is personally as a designer, is adapting to the corporate design environment. When I was running my business, I was really in like a coach and service provider industry where I was able to be really stylish and I could, break the rules of design, of standard design. While in corporate, when you work for a really big corporate company, they typically have very strict brand guidelines as to how far you can get with your creative freedoms. And that was something that took me a very long time to get used to. Maybe like 3 or 4 months. It was like my first project. I took a picture of, I took one of our stock photos and I removed the background and I placed them like on a graphic that we were distributing. And my manager was like, yeah, so typically we don't we don't do like cut out backgrounds, like we do full images. And I was like, man, but you better believe I found a way to sneak some in a very good way that was accepted and well received. And then designing for print and just being a good designer, sticking to my margins and knowing that something maybe needs some alignment, or if something's going to print, making sure it's in CMYK and not RGB. If you're a designer, you're getting this. If you're not, you're like, what are you talking about? That was a huge adjustment in itself, and I would say that I'm well adjusted now. I am a beast with the corporate identity, you hear what I'm saying? And me and my team have gotten to a level where we are trusted to be a little bit more creative, which has been so fun as a part of my job. I get to, push the boundaries just a little to where I feel like my work is expressed through what I produce at my job. As I mentioned challenges, there were definitely some benefits of the switch. For one, that I've realized as I reflect is that my confidence in design and what I want to do has totally increased. Started my job thinking I wanted to go down one career path, and as I'm working and as I'm solving problems, I realized, oh no, I don't want that to be my path. Like, I want that to be something I nurture, which is graphic design and like design, but I like to problem solve with designs. Think about the user, which drove me to take the UX design course that I mentioned earlier. So it was really cool to get clear on where I want to be in my career path, because if I was still doing full-time entrepreneurship, I would still probably be doing brand identity packages, web design, like for one-off clients, you know, the same repetitive things, the same repetitive services, and I wouldn't have an opportunity to actually think outside of my comfort zone. And then benefits of the switch, I mean, the obvious, your girl's making good money consistently. And when I say good money, it's not good money like to everybody's standards, but it's good money in accordance to how I live my life, my goals, where I want to be in life, things I want to obtain, places I want to go. Like, I am on a good track to be in a good financial position, given that I am a salaried employee and I'm not, you know, trying to figure out how much I'm gonna pay myself from my business. So y'all, that's my story. Everybody's experience is totally different. You might talk to somebody who, you might see a lot of people who leave corporate for full-time entrepreneurship and they succeed, and that's not a rare case. You might look at someone like me who left full-time entrepreneurship for corporate and they succeed. It really just depends on where you are in life, what you want to do, and your desires, your goals, what drives you. So if you're watching this video, it's probably because you might be considering, or you have done it, or you're going to do it. And I just want you to know that whatever decision you make, you're going to be great regardless. Don't listen to these folks who say like, oh, you working for the man, you gonna give your energy to the man. You could be putting that time in your own business. Running a business is stressful as hell, y'all. And don't listen to them folks, business owners. Don't listen to them folks who say running a business is hard as hell. I don't know how you do it. I like my 9 to 5. I work my 9 to 5. You gotta work 5 to 9 and 9 to 5. Don't listen to them either. Do what works for you. So you guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button for me. Welcome to my little side of the internet. I'm very happy to have you. I have a lot more videos coming down the pipeline, so I'm really excited to get those out. Let me know in the comments if you're considering either leaving the entrepreneurship space for a full-time corporate gig or vice versa. I really would like to know where my audience is at with that. So that does it for today. I'll see you guys in the next video.